Hey, today I will talk about a book named Flowers for Algernon, written by Daniel Keyes. So, just a brief background on who Daniel Keyes is. Daniel Keyes is an American author who was born in New York on August 9, 1927. After receiving his MA degree, he left New York to teach creative writing at Wayne State University. Afterwards, he joined the faculty of Ohio University in 1966 and was appointed Professor of English and Creative Writing. In the year 2000, he was honored with Professor Emeritus status. Brooklyn College also awarded Keyes its 1988 Distinguished Alumnus Medal of Honor. Keyes is best known for his Hugo Award and Nebula Award-winning book, Flowers for Algernon. And that is the story I will be talking about to you today. So, I chose this book particularly because it is really interesting. The storyline and the plot is so well thought of, and it allows you to live in the story. Right now, teens prefer watching movies rather than reading a book, and I believe that the habit of reading is being lost. Flowers for Algernon is a good short novel for readers just starting out, and it's just truly perfect. I believe teens can relate to the book because the book is actually about belonging and peer pressure, and that is quite an issue in the teen years. One can really learn a lot from the book, so I would want to give a somewhat summary of the book right now. The main character of the book is Charlie Garden. Charlie is a 32-year-old man in New York who works at Donner's Bakery as a janitor and a delivery boy. His co-workers made fun of Charlie not because he was a janitor or anything, but because he had an IQ of 68. This meant that he was mentally disabled, or to put it bluntly, he was a retard. Because of this, he was put into special schooling in Beekman College Center for retarded adults. Alice Kenyon, Charlie's teacher, saw potential in him. Even though Charlie was incapable of learning much, he had the eagerness to learn. Then Charlie's life gets all complicated after that. Because of the potential Miss Kenyon saw, he suggested Charlie be a subject of an experiment, wherein scientists will perform brain surgery on Charlie, hoping he would become smarter. Now the experiment here was actually carried out already. Since rats were of closest biological properties as men, they carried it out on a rat named Algernon. It actually was a success in Algernon, but they had to try it out now on a person, and this became Charlie. Now Dr. Strauss and Professor Niemer, the scientists responsible, carried the experiment out on Charlie. Now, the surgery turned out fine, and they told Charlie to start writing everything he has been doing after the surgery to see the improvement, or probably the worsening brain activity that might occur. The progress reports of Charlie then became the book Flowers for Algernon. As the progress report continue, you will see how Charlie's life changes. From a retarded man to one who is so smart that even he himself cannot comprehend. His spelling became correct and so did his grammar. Because of his newfound intelligence, he started remembering things that happened to him before and started feeling trauma. Trauma because he remembered the years wherein his parents did not want him because he was a retard. And now that he is no longer a retard, he went back to his parents for approval. Him going back was so emotional. And telling you won't be enough. Okay, right now I'm just gonna read that part for you wherein he goes back to his parents. How could I tell them? What was I supposed to say? Here, look at me, Charlie, the son you wrote off the books? No, not that I blame you for it, but here I am, all fixed up better than ever. Test me, ask me questions, anything. I speak 20 languages now, living and dead. I'm a mathematical whiz, and I'm writing a piano concerto that will make them remember me long after I am gone. No. How could I just tell them like that? How absurd I was sitting in his shop, waiting for him to pat me on my head and say, "Good boy." I wanted his approval. The old glow of satisfaction that came to my father's face when I learned to tie my own shoelaces and button my sweater. I had come here for the look on my father's face, but I knew I wouldn't get it. I wasn't his son no longer. That was another Charlie. Intelligence and knowledge had changed me, and he would resent me, as the others from the bakery resented me, because my growth diminished him. I didn't want that. Here, we see that Charlie was now afraid. He was afraid to present himself in front of his parents, his mother, his father. He was afraid because he knew that his parents would not accept them even though he was now smart. He was smarter than they were, that they might feel diminished, that the retarded son is now better than they are. They might feel betrayed since all the years they lived in shame, knowing that they have a retarded son, was spent to waste. Charlie was put down emotionally and became depressed. The story continues and we see more struggles confronted by Charlie. He craved for affection, love, and knowledge. His whole world was turned upside down. He became bipolar, sex crazed, and crazy that everyone avoided him. In the latter part of the book, Charlie discovers something. Something that will help him fix everything. And that is something that you have to read for yourself. Flowers for Algernon is truly a great book. Its storyline and plot is just so unpredictable that it really kept you hanging and wanting to read more. The ending of the book has a very revealing twist to it as well, and I truly recommend it. If you still don't believe me, let me just inform you that they made plays out of this, and even made a movie named Charlie. Before I go, I would just like to say that Daniel Keyes truly is a great author. And I have read other of his books, like The Touch, The Fifth Sally, Until Death, and the latest novel, Asylum Prophecies. I really recommend books of Daniel Keyes, particularly Flowers for Algernon. Hope you have a good read, and goodbye.